Hi, I'm Kate Barrett, the founder of Shine a Light Media and the Email Marketing Academy, and welcome to this week's Tuesday email marketing tip video. Now, as promised, today I am focusing in on the subject line. Because when your email lands in somebody's inbox, you've got a couple of seconds to grab their attention. And there are two main factors and one secondary factor that help to make that decision as to whether people open your email or not. Now, the first is your friendly from address, and that's the name from which you're sending the email. The second is the subject line, and more importantly, the subject line. Now, the third secondary element is your pre-header. Now, your pre-header is the first line of text that appears in your email. So it's right at the top of your email before it says view this email online or anything like that. The first line of text in your email, and in some email clients, you will see the pre-header, that first line of text in the email, underneath the subject line in the inbox. So it's well worth looking at that as well. But back to the subject line. So you've got a couple of seconds to grab somebody's attention. You need to make your subject line stand out, and you're building the trust with your from address, who it is that you're sending the email from, you, the person they want to hear from. So, there are many techniques that you can use to craft an amazing subject line. It needs to reflect the content of your email. It can't be deceptive, and that is a legal requirement in many countries. So let's just take that as a standard. It can't be deceptive. It does need to reflect the content of your email. But there are some techniques that you could try A/B split testing to see which techniques work better for you. Now, there are other things that you can split test as well with your subject lines, such as the length of subject lines, so whether it's a shorter subject line, so under 35 characters, let's say, because that's the cutoff point on a mobile device. So that's a good way to look at your subject line. Or is it a longer subject line? And over a series of A/B split tests on your emails, do longer or shorter subject lines perform better? So you can use something like length as a way to test your subject line. But looking at techniques specifically, I've got 4 techniques for you that I want you to try over the next few months as you run some A/B split tests on your subject lines. See which one gets you the better open rates. And don't forget, as we spoke about last week, make sure you look at all your statistics, your results from your emails in conjunction. Look at your opens, your clicks, your conversions, so that you can see where the uplift or the downgrade in your results has happened on each test across the board. So make sure you're looking at all of those results. But back to those 4 techniques. So the first technique that I want you to try is asking a question. Asking a question can be a really effective way to pique people's interests and get them to click into the email and find out more. Find out the answer to that question. Find out if what they thought was the answer was the right answer. People love questions, so try that in your next A/B split test. So another technique you could try is using numbers. So 8 ways to, for example. Okay, so include those numbers. People like lists where they're going to find out a certain number of criteria or ways to do things or tips to take them through and complete something, get them from A to B or help them solve a problem. So try a numbers subject line. You could also try making a statement. Just literally make a statement in your subject line. Now, another technique you could try is to use symbols in your subject line. Now, these are also called glyphs. And if you just Google email subject line friendly images or glyphs, you'll come up with lots that you can use there. Because you've got to watch how they render, how they show in different email clients. So if you just do a quick Google search for glyphs that are safe to use in subject lines, there are some tests that have been run out there that show that they show up correctly in different email clients, for example. But using images can be a really great technique to make your emails stand out in the subject line. But make sure that those images, those symbols make sense in your subject line. So just Google glyphs, subject line glyphs or subject line symbols and you'll find those there because there's some special ones that you can use. Now, something else that you can also try in your subject lines is personalization. Having the first name, for example, of the subscriber at the beginning or at the end or in the middle of your subject line, but including that first name is a great technique to try. So you've got quite a few ideas there. You've got the length of the subject line, adding symbols, asking a question, making a statement, using numbers. You've got lots of different techniques that you could try there. So your challenge is run a test. If you haven't already, as you've been watching the videos this month, run an A/B split test and use subject lines as your starting point if you want to, and the techniques that we've looked at today. And let me know in the comments below how your tests are going, if you have been running them. I want to know what kind of results you've been seeing and the tests that you've been running. So let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next month for our next Tuesday email marketing tip video.